So maybe we could do some introductions if you want
Sure.
to. Kate, go ahead if you'd like.
Yeah, so Jim, I know you guys all met. You've all met. I'm in Chicago. I'm outside Chicago, and I was with SNAP for about 15 years, just as a volunteer, as a supporter.
Wow.
So I was raised Catholic and practicing Catholic, and then in 2001, a priest at our parish was arrested. And this was after the Boston Globe, all that came out in January.
Right.
So this happened that December, and our bishop was not in Chicago Archdiocese, but an outlying diocese. Was a canon lawyer who helped write the charter, and was held in contempt of court in the case,
Wow.
criminal case for withholding documents, the priest file. So they took it, they said First Amendment and stuff. So we just realized after all the promises in the charter of openness and transparency, we weren't seeing it, we were seeing the opposite still. So it was very upsetting as a Catholic because we knew there was some of this going on, the priest abuse. But to the extent, and it was just kept coming out and stuff like that. So then I got involved with SNAP, and I worked a lot with Barbara Blaine in Chicago. And if she'd be out of town, then I'd be standing or just, doing events and stuff like that. So I left the church in 2006. And I just figured like SNAP became my new church, because on Sunday mornings I'd be outside the cathedral handing out leaflets or whatever instead of going inside. So I just think the world, you all heroes, and I just really appreciate, I've had an awakening from being, growing up in that environment, and it's been the most liberating thing for me, because the truth is painful to hear, but I'd rather live in the light of the truth than in darkness and ignorance, especially if something's happening in my name, on my behalf as a member. So, and then I left SNAP as a leader a couple of years, or maybe just last year. I think I went to the meeting last year, but just to, I'm trying to focus on health and what I can do for survivors and others in the healing process, mostly physical healing that I do. So I'm a health educator by education. So that's what I like. It bothers me that survivors have the additional burden of suffering from chronic degenerative diseases, even more so than the regular population. So this is something that I would like to focus my energies on, but totally support all the survivors and very grateful for you guys and willingness to speak out to protect children and the future generations, and also to just help each other out. And I'm here for you.
And I'll go ahead next. These are my two soul sisters. Kate is actually born on the exact same day, exact same year, and from the same town. And not town, but same metropolitan area. I'm also from Chicago, and living now in Dallas. And Jim, I think we met on several, I don't know, was it a couple of years ago now, Debbie, when you started your online Zoom call for ritual abuse, and she's, and Debbie also is our same age, so we're kind of like these three sisters from three sisters from different mothers, or whatever that is, or fathers, however you say that. But anyway, and I came from Chicago. I am not a survivor myself, but have family members who were abused in the Catholic Church. Also, I have a daughter who was abused at the Naval Academy. So, am a secondary survivor for sure, but I'm just really passionate about it because, I mean, just listening to you, Kate, you're the same thing, just going along your merry way, believing in the church and the faith, and then to find this, this stuff coming out. And it was just, it's like, I believed it. I believed it immediately, because I was told by a family member of his abuse by a priest as a child, or as a young teenager. And I believed him. I know him. I love him. I know he's not lying. And so years later, when Boston Globe hit, I knew it was true. I just thought my loved one was the only one. It was like, oh, he got so unlucky. And once your eyes are open, you can't look back. You can't go back to the way it was. And I mean, I'm no longer a part of the church either. I can't be. It's too corrupt. They didn't do the right thing. They still don't do the right thing. But I feel connected to the survivor community, and we're fighting the good fight. And just I'm in awe of all of you, who do come forward and carry that, but you come forward with hope that you'll be believed and you'll be heard. And I hear you and I believe you. And I know, my sisters here do too as well. So that's my story.
Okay, and my story is I met Lisa when I joined SNAP about 5 or 6 years ago, I think, and went to my first SNAP meeting in Dallas. I've been wanting to be part of SNAP since about 2004, 5 or 6, somewhere in that time, back when I lived in Nebraska area, but I would have had to drive 6 hours to a meeting. So until I moved to Dallas back in 2014, I connected up with SNAP later, and I think it was 2015, and went to my first meeting in 2016 or something like that. And then I met the Dallas group, and that's where I met Lisa and Paul, and went to my first conference that year, and I got to meet Barbara Blaine. And from there, I kept going to the meetings and everything, and Lisa and I became friends, as well as she's a wonderful leader and supporter. But and then I would get more confidential stuff stating that I did not feel like I belonged in the group, since my abuse was still a lot different than what they talked about in their group setting. So over the course of the years, I kept saying that, and with the help of SNAP, then they allowed me to open up online, or asked me if I wanted to be a leader of it, since I was asking about it in 2019. It's in April. I think it's been 2 years now. So we've done that. But I want to attribute all this to Jim, because if it wouldn't have been him at that first Chicago meeting where I went, and he had his story in an envelope sitting out there for anybody who wanted to pick it up and read it. And it was a way for him to connect. I also had a leader from Des Moines, Iowa, who was a SNAP leader, who was helping me to see if there was anybody in the area who had been abused under the ritual type abuse. And he drove all the way from Des Moines to meet with me for that afternoon and evening, so I can try to connect up with Jim. And unfortunately, we didn't get to connect at that meeting, but it was really weird. And I have a picture, and I'll have to go back in my old phones and find it. But Jim and Deb sit down at the same table I was sitting at that SNAP meeting. And they sat in front of me, and they came in, right about when this meeting started. So, and it was the last day of the meeting, and I never talked to him, but I always referenced him as Ponytail Boy. I always thought, I think I was that Ponytail Boy. I just had a feeling it was Ponytail Boy who had the story. So then Jim and we connected up. He sent me his story, and we've talked on the phone. And then him and Deb were a very big support group, part of the pilot and the start of our Ritual SNAP support group. And Deb and Jim both wanted to get their stories documented, as well as a lot of other people within our group. And so at the end of, I think it was in December or so, we started talking about it, and Kate and Lisa had said they might be able to help me. And so that's how we came to be where we're at today. So I think the efforts of everyone to get where we're at today, and we'll just go ahead and kind of go through it and see what we can. And basically, it's going to be informal. And if like a regular SNAP group, if you feel like you're done talking, Jim, or, let us know if you're having a problem, with your breathing, or you don't feel up to it, whatever, just the same thing going on. And like we had said, we can, do this and come back and do more later on as well. It's just, we're the pioneers here to kind of get these stories out and collaborate them, as well as, I know, Jim, the other day when we were talking, you had mentioned too that maybe other people in our group would want to do this as well. So it's kind of, you're the leader of the group, actually, Jim. You didn't even know it.
Okay.
See, that's how they do it.
The reluctant Messiah. That's funny.
Jim, I'm going to put you as the, I'm going to highlight you as the
Okay.
leader. And then, so we'll all be on the screen, but it's smaller. And,
Right. Well, I think whoever talks comes up.
yeah, well, I think spotlight. So I'm going to just,
there you
yeah,
go.
we'll see how that goes. And then when we go to question and answer or whatever, we can change it.
All right.
So
Well,
you have to take as much time as you have.
My lighting here is terrible, but like I said, I didn't realize this. I thought it was going to be the regular SNAP meeting where I could just kind of sit in the background and throw in my little pearls of wisdom now and then.
You never know, like if you go on a webinar, like if they're going to have the camera on you or not. So
Right.
I might have my pajama bottoms on, but always
Okay.
whenever I'm on my laptop now, I think somebody's going to see me. So, but I can see your lighting is, I can see it. So you look good.
I'm all lit up. Well, that's fine.
All lit up.
Oh.